Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and that spectrum of genders in between, how are we doing today? That's right, we're here, and you might be thinking, hey, hang on a moment, he's talking to us. What's this intro thing we got? Well, after a bit of a time off and a bit of searching around and thinking about it and just general annoyance, I have decided to stop streaming on Twitch until further notice, basically, and I am going to instead be doing casting straight to YouTube. I'm just going to skip the whole Twitch thing entirely, and I'm just going to go through a cast straight to YouTube. So that's what you're going to get. So there's going to be bits of intros, there's going to be a little bit of blather. You know, I'm going to work on some scene changes and, you know, interesting things. But long story short, I'm done with Twitch. Problems with the whole your browser not supported thing. My discovery during my testing is that they're looking at more than just the browser. They're looking at profile things, like other sites that you visit, other places you log into, not just add-ons or things like that. So they're definitely scraping more data than they're supposed to, and they deny doing anything of the sort when I ask them about it, which of course is a load of bollocks. Anyway, you guys are here for casting, so let's get ourselves into this. I have this lovely little thing lined up here, and what we're going to rock on into once it launches. Anytime now, sorry, maybe I should have got the replay ready. Doesn't matter, we're here, we're going, we're launching, and we have got ourselves into a 7 versus 7 random map. We do like the random maps. I like the random maps, has to be said. So let me just do my standard sorting over here. Then we're going to say hello to all of the players involved. Quite a lot of them. The average rating is solid in the Joe region. We have a couple of pros slapped into the mix there as well. But anyway, we've got Team 1 is actually on the left-hand side down below. Team 2 at the top right. Let's say good day. First off, Team number 2 all the way down here in this greyish kind of... No, it's combat green. It's been ages. And it's combat green anyway. We have Novaneon and Novanon is down here going UEF. And front, just up from him, also on the front section in a Cyan Seraphim, it is Augustin, and he is popping out his land factory there. He had already started some of the mass extractors, oddly. Behind those two in a bit of support role, perhaps we have Wednesday, my dudes. It is not Wednesday for me, it is Sundays. But anyway, he's there in blue, he is UEF. The fourth player for team number 1, slap in the middle of everybody in orange, it is Lucifer. And he's going cybering himself down a couple of regions as required because there's no Hydra. Well, Hydra's all the way over there, so a bit of distance needs us for help. Behind Lucifer, and what's probably going to be the air position, it is Weld. Weld just sitting there, he's picked up for himself a bit of owl, got some one PG sorted, and he does have a Hydra all the way over here, which he's going for. The 6th player, team number 1, up here in white as Cybrid, it is Bach Stradivarius. That is somewhat related to music. Obviously Bach's composer, Stradivarius is a violin, so pulling out the big stops there, and above him the last, probably frontline player for team number 1, it already walking away, there he is on his tot, it is Blackstar 10150, and he is Aeon in the snot green colour. Alrighty, let's have an introduction to team number 2. Then first off for team number 2, up here in the blue corner, the blue colour, it is Mr. Tetra. Tetra's here as Seraphim, just popping down some more PGs. Look like an air factory is scheduled to pop out at some point. Down from him, the other front player up this direction, UEF in the vomit yellow colour, it is Mythic. Mythic is going for a walk along his way. Behind them, possibly air player, we'll find out later on, it is Vinyl 117, he's purple, he is UEF. And down from Vinyl, the middle player of all the everything, we have another Seraphim player. It is Cascade, and he is in the lovely lavender colour, getting to work on his first air factory there. Switched up to the standard air player right at the back, it is Wookie Guy. He's in pink, and he is Cybern. Didn't finish off a Pigeon there. Interesting choice. Decides to leave that alone because he has a Hydra back there. He is building instead. 6th player for team number 1, walking away in the grey colour UEF, it is Von Einsburn. Von Einsburn. Anyway, he is UEF as mentioned, and walking his way towards front, being joined by his other teammate in Cybern, it is Judah. Judah is here in the red colour. All the way back here, got his factory down and spitting out some NGs. Alright, so that is the introduction of the players. Let's have a look at the map. We have this giant plateau in the middle, which could be could be forward. Hope you get some factories up there, have some fighting. There's no mass extractors on there. There's a good amount of reclaim up on this plateau. It's all in little wee bits all over the place, though. You kind of want to decide if you want to make that battle, but strategically, you could hold in here perhaps with an Omni, get yourself some nice vision across the whole map. It is a 20 by 20 kilometer map though, so Omni won't cover the entire area, but it will give you a good amount of notice of things going on. So first little bits of random harassment we've got going on is down here. We see some labs are rocking up here from Novanon. Sorry, I want to say Nova Neon so badly, but it's not. It's Novanon. So anyway, first item comes over here. There is an engineer which is trying to build something, but this has been supported by the commander, so these guys are just not going to have a great time of it. Lab tries to run away, a little bit too late. It is dead. In the meantime, these three guys over here are making a beeline up in this direction. A whole bunch of engineers up in this way, looking like they might just have a terrible time of it. We have our first action in the middle is a drop there from Cascade, looking to grab some of that extra reclaim there, and this is going to be decent. They should be able to kill off one engineer, but a couple of defending mantis have come out and they're only going to get the one NG, so not really great work done. Some expectations on there. There has been a Celine waiting for the commander to walk away, which he has, and now it's taken down that engineer, which delays the building of that mix. There was an attempted little sneaky run by over here with some defending tanks and a T1 bomber. Make sure that that goes absolutely nowhere, but did they catch an engineer? I think they might have. That looks kind of like an engineer wreck, so that's a delay on those mixes being built. Still probably job well done. Any massive delay is worthwhile, but these guys now have a nice clear road down this way, not a lot stopping except for a stray engineer, which will not work. In the middle though, we have another drop coming down there. That is Lucifer getting some engineers on that. Wants to maybe drop the second engineer before it gets shot down, but too late, it's dead. So that will be Cascade, who's well aware of his opponent on this particular island, plateau. I want to say island, but it's a plateau. So that's what those guys are doing. Here's a single engineer left who can start doing some reclaim business or doing a factory or something or anything really. Kind of surprising, there's not a lot of the T1 bomber harassment at the start. There's some ground units popping around and we start seeing this little build up over here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 factories planned out for Mythic, who has gun upgrade completed on his commander, so it's going to be supported by all of these units coming out soon. Run down the radar so we can see where he's going to go. These units up the top here, there we go. This is the expected little smashing that I thought it would be. These little guys run into the engineers, and the engineers just simply have no answer to that, and it's going to be a dead mass extractor as well. On the ground, the counter against them is one single Aurora. Is not going to have a good time against those. Very light on the ground unit wise, and these guys are going to be able to come in here and sweep up these mass extractors as well without too much of a problem. Alright, walking up, this is Mythic. He is running straight into a bad spot though. Bark already has the gun upgrade on his commander. Blackstar has one gun upgrade, is about to get the second, so a double comm gun down this direction is not going to go well for Mythic. He's going to need to be careful about that. In this direction though, we see these guys are doing exactly as expected, cleaning up those mass extractors, and there we go, gun upgrade is virtually done. Virtually done, but Bark's Stradivarius... sorry. There was a crash. There was a crash, and this is Bark actually about to go pop, but joining him will be Von Eisen. So, one from each side. It kind of balances out. One from each side, there's so an unusual, unfortunate double crash from those guys, but the game goes on. It's early days, there's not really much effect on how things are going to go there, but well, it did do some damage to Mythic, who now has to fall back. He's going to get chased down by Blackstar though, because Blackstar, of course, him the gun comm has more range, and there's going to be a big old problem for Mythic unless he can get some support. Unfortunate timing on there. This side though, it's not so bad for Wookie. He has nothing on the front dealing damage like this over here, and there we go. The block does come in from a couple of units. That's all Mythic needed, just some units to get in the way to slow that commander down, and that will be well and good. In comes some tier 1 bombers. Now the best thing these tier 1 bombers could hit would actually be this radar, because as is well known, you've got Guncom, you can shoot a lot further that you can see. So without this radar, he would effectively be blind. But anyway, that is Mythic dropping right the way back, which he has to. Right, factory has been completed up here by Lucifer. He's just going to pop out some of these labs just to go be harassing and kill off some engineers, but these two guys are actually trying to climb up or down. I think they're trying to climb down. They're on a patrol, they're bumping into each other either way. They're not having a good time. Over this direction, right hand side, we see a little bit of land spam coming at each other. We have T2 has been completed down here for August, and they're going to want to just look at consolidating this position by the look of it, just get a few units in the way. Kind of ran straight past each other there, and they're going to just go straight onto the commander, who's just going to ignore those for the time being. Up in this direction, we see pushbackers coming here from Lucifer. Lucifer, who has been given the base at useful into Buck Stradivari. And on the other side, who picked up Von Eisenbin's base? It looks like it has all gone to Cascade. So, as expected, gone to the top rated players, who are in the midsection, the anchors of each team, if you will. This could be problematic for Wiki, although he does have gun on his commander, who'll be okay, but he's going to have to watch that T2 PD creep. August could cause some issues there, losing his units out. Looks like squished between Judah and Cascade over there. They're all cleaned up quite easily. Back up on the top left, quick check in this direction, we see there's some bomber harassment going over Cascade's units, but looks like he has got some inties in the area, but looks like he's just going to let them go. Probably the wise idea. Really save them. Back in this direction, we see Blackstar doesn't actually have a rank of veterancy. He's killed a few units, just 13 in total, but not enough to veterancy vet himself to get extra health and extra regen. Back in this direction, and another T2P to go down for August. We see a small air wing flipping overhead to do things, and the reality is this area now belongs to Lucifer. He has all the units up there. Still a single engine here though. It's picking up all the reclaim it can. That looks like T2 though. These are a couple of Nothers. They are going to try and find themselves something to kill, and they look like they're making a beeline for Lucifer, who's getting T3 air upgrade on that factory. Has a pair of PGs beside, but in come the Nothers from Cascade. This is not going to be very good at all. Can the shield be put up in time to spang it? Nope, it can't. But the double Nother bombs, and all they do is collect some engineers and do some damage to a single T2 PGM, but nothing doing more. Another Nother comes in, so 3 Nothers, and they might as well focus onto this one here now. But there's flak up now, and there we go. One T2 PGM is going to go down. That does drop the shield as well. But the Nothers are now engaged by some interceptors. There is a flak up. They may want to slap a regen on this here for another bomb comes in, but it does, and down goes the second T2 regen. So that is somewhat annoying for Lucifer. He used to have that, and now of course comes in a Janus as well, but he gets a second shielding up, and it should be alright from here. I'm surprised he's not rebuilding this one, which is under the shielding, but that looks like that's all she wrote. The air is being cleaned up by the flak, but that is still put him behind just that little bit. Have a check on the other side of things, and there is just about a tier 3 factory completed for Cascade as well. So these two guys doing very similar range. He's hasn't got power yet though. Doesn't have a single T2 PGN unless he's got something more down here. No, he doesn't. So he'll be struggling to get anything out of that. Whereas over this direction we have very close to being completed T3 HQ as well, but a second T2 PGN going up, so it's going to be helpful. Up on the top left hand side, a push coming down here from Tetra, and that is something Lucifer is trying to defend against. He's not having a lot of success though, many more units coming at him. Plus this run by through here, no, that is defending unit struck back actually. Because that's an upgrade going down on Blackstar. He's wanting to get, I'm going to guess that is shield on there. He definitely wants to keep this radar alive because he can snipe things as they come on in. Left hand side looks like Lucifer has defended against that push. The blue is finally gone. Down here the T3 is completed. Well, Lucifer has got some engines out and starting to work on a T3 Pigeon already. We have a look over this side, and the T3 is completed as well, and the T3 Pigeon has been started, so very even between these two fellows. Have a quick look over the right hand side, and this is Judah. He's looking very unhealthy. He's looking like he's been tangling with something. Looks like 12 kills, but no gun, no T2 upgrade, no nothing. And now there's a nice big old army fight here. He's got to be careful. This con kind of close to these guys could take some serious damage. If he was to, it looks like this position got overrun at some point, which is why he's damaged most likely. Over in this direction, we see there is a gun com belonging to a Wookiee guy who's got stealth, but because he's something close enough to see him, it doesn't actually matter. He is taking some of that T2PD5, decides maybe he doesn't want to tangle with those. Possibly a wise idea. Quick check back up top left hand side, and what do we have? A Kiana push from Lucifer sending his units back on up, but lacking in the reinforcements. Perhaps there are 7-8 factories here in Tetra, and they are just slapping us some T1 spam plus some T2. There we go, there are some Ilshivas coming out, and those Ilshivas are going to be very, very irritating on that left hand side for Tetra to be able to roll over Lucifer over there. But this is the big story. It is, there we go, T3 is up for Lucifer. He has the PGen and he's working on some storage. He's got some shields up as well. Over this direction we see a similar type thing there. One T3 PGen up, second one going down, and working on the air factory as well. In this section we have Blackstar still working on his shield upgrade. It's only about halfway done, so once he has done that, it's going to be a chunky comm to try and deal with. The top left is a problem though. This is really where things are going to be problematic. Once those Ilshivas get into the battle, these T1 units are just going to start getting shredded. Throw some T1 bombers overhead as well, and that's going to be a run-away situation. They can't really contend with that. Seems somewhat odd that we have Lucifer up here with his army, but we don't have Cascade with his army down here. It is actually looking like Judah, and this is Wookiee guy. Wookiee guy was the rare air guard player over there with a few units up. The rare player over here also got T3 here. Actually, get some engines out and start work on his T3 PGens. Back on the right hand side, and there we go, this army has been ousted, and this is actually Novanon, who maybe wants to be a little bit cautious. He has those units coming on in. He's got some T2 PD of course, which will help a heck of a lot. Maybe was thinking about popping down some T1 PD though. Can build that a lot faster. It has better DPS and is ideal for taking on T1 units when there's no T1 artillery in the mix. Decides to maybe fall back, and falling back's not a terrible idea. He's got some extra point defense around here, and that will help thin out the numbers. He should be okay. Back in this direction we see it is Wookiee guy. Wookiee guy is doing the whole stealth thing. Need to get some, there we go, scout overhead, and now he's been seen, and now they can shoot and keep that scout overhead for the shots. And Wookiee guy's going to start losing health. He's doing some good damage though. Overcharge, of course, jumping into the mix, and not looking good for his health. Maybe he wants to think about falling back, especially with the scouts. You can't hide from those. 6,000 health, and each volley from the now only 2 in defense means he loses a few hundred health. There we go. This side, that is Nova Enon being absolutely fine, and it can bring up some mongoose to help out. And maybe even grab that reclaim. It's been a nice little fight there. There's a nice reclaim field. Happy to have 2,500 from in that mix. Down comes Judah. Still no upgrades. So he's going to have to be careful on that. Up on the left hand side we see those Ilshivas have gained ground, and absolutely gained ground over there. And they want to try and be maybe not too much for push. There is some T3. There we go. Loyalists are out there from Lucifer. So he's got T3 ground now. That will be very handy indeed for helping keep those at bay. Where's this gone? Over there. Oh, he did not get shield actually. Blackstar got the chrono damper on his commander, so when he gets in range of all of these, you're going to see them start getting stunned, and that is really needed to get back. He's going to lose this radar, and that's going to be him absolutely blind. So all of these, of course, he's got his units around, his factories around, so he should be able to still see that. But if this radar dies, he will lose a very useful tool, especially for things like this on the left hand side. I don't know if there's any other radar on that side, but it survives for now. Commander is right in there, all on with the chrono charge, all on with the overcharge, and that is going to be this army basically literally stopped dead in its tracks by the chrono. Left hand side, and the loyalists are trying to do what they can. Of course, the Ilshivas are quite tanky for a T2 bot. Check on the right hand side, and Judah has started to walk away. He thinks that maybe he's not going to take on a swarm of T2 units with no upgrades whatsoever. As he's doing back here, when he's got T2 of his own, maybe was thinking about going to T3, 16 minutes into the game. He might want to consider it. Up in this direction, and Black Star's doing exactly what he should be doing with this, kind of getting right into the mix of things and stunning them all with the chrono. And that just leaves him free to clean up all of that. Left hand side, and once again we see this is Tetra making a pushback on this side of thing on his way. The middle plateau is still very much held by Lucifer, but there's nothing left on there, and there's actually no reason to keep fighting over it. There's no mass extractors. The only thing it could be used as a defensible against ground, I'd say. You could possibly set up for some things, but maybe not so much. And what was this? This is August. He has sent everything over to somebody else, and in fact he sent it over to Lucifer, so he is having to go perhaps 60 minutes into the game, maybe not. But hello down here, what do we have? Ghetto gunships. This is actually coming out for Wednesday. That's a lot of ghettos. Now the problem is, the absolute problem is, these T3 air, those ghetto gunships will not last long if those ASF come to say hello. And the ghettos are out, and this is Judah. Judah's going to start taking a lot of damage from those. Look at him straight down to the yellow right away. His health is just literally evaporating, and down he goes. I don't think he quite got zero health there. I'm pretty sure that was a control K, but either way, that is the ghetto gunships out of the game, but that is also Judah out of the game. The problem is all this is now going to be handed over to Cascade. Whether he can use that effectively is a good question. He's got some T2 marching up in front of him. On the left hand side, and we've got here the T3 loyalists here that are trying to keep things at bay. They don't want to roll too far from their support, and speaking of support, that's a Brick. So Brick now enjoying some fun as well, can actually outrange those Ilshvers, do some excellent damage on them. That's going to stem the tide for now. Over here, this is still Black Star, still rocking around with that chrono bomb, and he is up to 3 ranks of veterancy. Being supported by, nope, just still T1 units, and he's facing off against T2. The overcharge is going to be absolutely critical to keep him alive. Chrono to stun, overcharge to kill. Otherwise it will take a very, very long time to knock down all these units. Needs to be cautious, so if T3 comes wandering up, it can still deal a lot of damage. There we go though. Here is the push up this way from Nova Enon, and that is some T2 with some shields in completely the wrong place, but they can actually start stripping things at a distance like these here. See those mortars coming in over there. Grenade launchers, mortars, whatever they are. They're on the shoulder of the mongoose, and it's just like Celery grenade launchers. They've got the gun on one arm and mortars on the other, and they just lob those over and start killing stuff. Throwing some shields, throwing some mobile missile launchers. It's a little wee T2 army that is going to be quite frustrating. Over on this side, we see the T3 is making the difference. Loyalists are doing what loyalists do, and of course the Bricks up behind, they are just carving their way through these opponents. There might be a lot of T2 Ilshvers, but now we see siege tanks coming out as well. So Othams are making their way into this fray as well. And I feel like with the Loyalists being as strong as they are, this is fairly even. The Loyalists can't get too close without getting pinged by the Ilshvers. And there's only a couple of Bricks, so I take that back, there's now 4 Bricks. Walking up into this fray. Some T2PD has been thrown down, and there is a T3 factory here which is pumping out the Otham. So between all of that, now this is a rush onto the Bricks. If they can swarm them down, who are actually being very, very useful. The Loyalists are over here, they are slightly distracted, so I'm going to guess Lucifer is looking at something else at the moment. There's 1 Brick down, 2 Bricks down, and possibly 3 very shortly. There we go, so only 1 Brick left in this little group, but it's being replaced by another 4. So they're coming out 4 at a time, so you must have a nice little... there we go. We got a handful of T3 support factories and HQ over there, and they're just rolling the Bricks off the production line. Air grid is going up here for Lucifer. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 air factories. Let's compare that over the other side of the map, and we have 6, 7, 8, and a 9th air factory planned for Cascade, so he's going very heavy into the air game. Needs to be careful about that, but speaking of needing to be careful, there's a few strat bombers and batters launching around. That is going to be danger for... Well, I was going to say it would be danger for Black Star, wherever his commander is gone. He's invested so much in the comm, there he is. So it is one of the downsides of investing into a very, very heavy gun com. Looks like these guys not even going to be able to take out a single T2 mass extractor, sucks to them. But the downsides of investing into a commander this much is that you have to use them now, or you've just wasted a lot of ego. You know, doing a gun upgrade or a couple of gun upgrades near the start just to help supplement your Tier 1 army is great, but at some point you have to go, right, my commander needs to be safe now. Quick check over back on the right hand side, and still trying to push gradually up this way. We see it is Nova Enon, and he's getting there a little bit, but he is faced up against T3. That is bricks coming off the production line there for Cascade to try and shore up that sort of right hand side. Over here is actually Cascade's com, and he's working on eco on the front line. Not a lot of defenses here, could be overrun pretty easily, but the same thing could be said over here. Only a couple of defenses, kind of static, not too much going on there. And there goes August. He did bring his comm to a safe location before leaving, and he had already handed everything over to Lucifer, so not too much there, although maybe just a little bit too close to that NG. Rude. Very, very rude. But the story of the day at the moment is the top left, all the way up here. The bricks have decided to introduce themselves to this little bit production base belonging to Tetra, and they're getting work done. There is a 5 bricks, and they're having a big old go at the point defense, but a shield pops down just in the nick of time, and now all the point defense is free to have a go at all these before they get the shield down. But the shield's not going to last too much longer. We have 1 point defense. We have Zui's marching on in. The engineer's going to get popped down though. Out goes a lightning tank, and now there's not a lot on the ground to slow these things up. There's some T1, there's a lot of engineers dying, some bombers fly overhead, and those bricks are pretty hurt, so they might be able to take a couple of them down. They're really low in health, but there's still a heck of a lot, and more bricks turn up. This production area is going to go bye-bye, so that is a problem for Tetra. The question is, what else has he got to try and slow those, because I think that was his main production hub, but still has T3 in his base. It was not his main base, and he's working on some Nothers by the look of it. Down here, this is Blackstar. His commander still doing commander things with his chrono and his overcharge. Only got T2 in front of his face. He should be absolutely fine. Checking down the right hand side, and we now see the counter to what Lucifer is doing at the top left is happening. This is Cascade pushing on up, although he's going to run in some T3 units down here belonging to Nova Enon, and these Titans just simply will not fare very well at all against that kind of thing. Some bricks are coming in to say good day, and they'll do a better job against those guys, although the Percivals are a fairly decent match for the bricks. Having said that, let's check out the air game, and now we have, well, that was the Strat Bombers. They made a run from Vinyl. They wanted to try and take out some of the bricks and take them out. They did, but the air wing did come in from Cascade to be protective, and Lucifer decides he does not quite want to engage that. So let's just have a quick air count while we're at it. This group is down there, all good. Cascade rocks himself out with 95 ASF. He's looking pretty healthy on that front. Counted with 85. I think that's an 8. I hope that's an 8. If it was 65, it would be terrible, but I think it's an 8. But the Strats are doing more Strat things. They have returned. Anybody else in the air game for team number 2 there is not, or is a double up from Weld. He is actually got himself another 17 ASFs. So as long as these over here, these guys can just rock straight on up and obliterate those Strat Bombs. This could be a very bad time. Very bad time for Binary. He's trying to use the Strats to assist his teammates to take care of the ground forces, but they have been caught out by the ASFs. Lose a handful, but in comes the air from Cascade. Will it be able to catch the air belonging to Lucifer? It is on the run. It won't. So a good wee snag there from Lucifer just to kill off a few of those Strat Bombers. Strat Bombers are messing around the other side. We do have a handful of ASFs in the middle there, and looks like Cascade is determined. Nope, he's changed his mind. I thought he might have been determined to try and catch those ASFs belonging to Lucifer and get them out of the way, but not in this case. This direction though, and the question is, what have you got to slow these down, Mr. Tetra? Because that is a lot coming into your base, and you're going to need something, or you're going to struggle against a sizable number of bricks. The supporting army could rock on up. In fact, it probably should rock on up. Out come the strats again there from Vinyl. They can drop their payload down on these guys, get a bit of a split fire going on, and that will be painful for all of these. Should see a split fire. There we go. And that is the end of that little wee push. Those bricks are done for. And where is the air though? Being nice and predictive is Cascade, keeping in between. Lucifer says give air. He wants to make a single solid block of air, but this is Wednesday making an announcement. He is jumping into the air game as well, and indeed he is. That is a T3 factory. He has no T3 power over there. Maybe wants a bit more. He does not have enough power to run 4 air factories. He's got a few support commanders there, but that's definitely not going to be a helpful case. Right hand side, we see the ground push coming out here from Cascade is going to overrun these guys. As soon as those Percies are down, it's just going to be waltzing on through. Bricks doing brick things, make the Percies into mincemeat, more numbers, and then they're going to roll over these T3Rs who are probably turning around trying to run away, but it won't help. They will be absolutely doomed. Strap bombs up here still doing strap bomb things. They are taking care of the push, which means that is a bit longer for them. Cascade finishes off an experimental bomber. Oh dear. Okay, they have enough air to one pass that bomber, I would think, but being very aggressive with his air wing is Cascade. He wants to try and keep these guys behind, because if they can get this bomb out before the air gets in between, this could be a problem for Lucifer. His commander's under a couple of T2 shields. In comes the Awassa. Now the bomb's going to go launch any moment. Now there goes the bomb, and the health just disappears. Not good. Crashes directly into the entire air grid belonging to Lucifer. Dear, oh dear, that is absolutely everything gone. Command is now exposed. Where are those strap bombs? There they are. Strap bombs coming in there from Vinyl. They're going straight onto Lucifer himself as well, and that is him after the game. Oh my word, one of us straight into the big, massive, giant air grid. And now Team 2 control the air game very much so. Where are your any ASFs out? Or there are some. There's still a handful of strat bombers, and if they do another run, that is going to be bad for Weld. So they've got a handful left though. They take a big old wide turn, and the ASFs do well. Only one more bomb gets dropped off. It impacts on the shields. The strats haven't managed to get anything. Everything's been handed over to Wednesday, but loss of that massive air grid. There were at least 7, 8 air factories there, no longer present, no longer producing air, compared to the massive, and I mean massive air grid belonging to Cascade. He's doing nothing but, yeah, look at this. He has, you know, I'm going to click this because that's just far too many. 16 air factories, with another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the way. So you can have 22 air factories. Between that and the Awasas, you're going to be having a grand old time. I hear more strats. There they are. They've decided to take over that plateau. Not that there's anything on it. Lots of scouts rocking on over. We see these ground units are moving on up. These guys have come this direction. Oh wait, those are Wednesday's guys. They're joining the battle over here to keep this alive. Down this direction is a Fat Boy. So Nova Enon with a Fat Boy. They are working on up. And these guys really need to consider increasing their air grid sizes, getting a lot more into the skies, because right now they very much belong, these guys, to Cascade with 124 ASFs. Weld has a grand total of 14, and Wednesday, who said I'm getting into the air game, has 20, so outnumbered 4 to 1. 4 to 1? It could be even worse now. What did I say yet? 120, okay, yeah, approximately 4, 5 to 1 kind of thing, and those numbers are just going to get worse and worse the longer the game goes on. We see there is Nova Enon into the air game as well. They all need to produce air. They all need to keep doing things. Up this direction, there was a reclaim mission going on from one of these engineers, but not anymore. Another Awassa being built. There's going to have to be something good done against those, because these guys are just 3 little separate air armies. Fat Boy is doing Fat Boy things. Over on the right hand side, you can see this is not Percival's, versus Bricks and Titans, and that's probably going to go a lot better for the pairing of Bricks and Titans. They can get on in. The Percivals can kill off the Titans nice and easy, but they really want to focus on the Bricks. They're the ones doing all the damage. Some shields can fall off the production line. That's going to be well timed to try and soak up some of the damage and keep the DPS alive. But DeMarco could have these guys actually focus down the Bricks, and that would be very, very handy indeed. Bricks, of course, are the biggest threat. Fatboy over here was falling back from a group that was pushing it. You did Rex there, but now it is a risk of the production over this direction. These factories are well exposed. Fatboy needs to turn around and come and assist that. Where is the Awasa? It is virtually done. It's going to be in the sky. Some strat bombers are coming out over this way. It looks like they have picked a target, maybe. Well, they're going for something. And where is Black Star's comm? Stars comm is nowhere to be seen. Oh, they're coming down for... No. Swinging past, going... Oh, they found Black Star sitting down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's got a couple of ranks of veterancy though. Just like a couple, I mean a heck of a lot of ranks of veterancy, and he'll be absolutely fine for now if this Airwing can actually swing over to the right and take care of that. But in comes the Awasa as well. The Airwing's not actually going to protect Black Star. He's going to get hammered here. More ambassadors slapping on down. Kaboom! And the Awasa itself will also rock straight on through. And that is going to obliterate all of this eco. Some ASFs do come on in behind there, but doing a good chasing procedure is Cascade. His ASFs are right in the mix behind that. And the Awasa is going to get away and survive, although the Airwing is coming over from Wednesday. And the question is, will they be able to do anything? No, they won't. That is some good work from Cascade. His ASFs jump into the mixer following behind that. They're going well right here. Straight, yes I do. They're killing off some of the T1 units on the mid area. So the Awasa survives. The Airwing is very much intact from Cascade. That's going to be a problem. Not looking terribly great for team number 2. The Awasa does another thing. Going to drop a bomb here. It's only a T2 shield, so it will go pop. It just simply does not have enough health to stop that Awasa bomb. And what is there? I think it's going to be a call for more SAMs. Yes, indeed, these SAM launches are going to be the go for these guys to try and keep things working. Some SAMs over here going to be the victims of some direct fire. The Awasa back down this direction on the left, killing off the production in this area. I mean, there were 4 T3 factories here, so that's probably a good thing to go for. Some ASFs turn up there from well, just going to tickle away at that Awasa a little bit. But the Airwing is in the area from Cascade. Where those strats, I hear them carrying on. They're just looking to kill off some more eco. 2 strat bombs, just need some ASFs to go and take care of them. There we go. A couple of ASFs will do the job. The Awasa dropping this bomb on... I'm not sure it dropped this bomb on anything. Maybe it did. There could have been a sizable force there. Not anymore. Some broadswords are out. They're going to gradually... I say gradually, they should do pretty good damage. They're going to kill off this T3 marauding army fairly quickly. There is a Fatboy now exposed. Awasa's going to come along and dump his payload onto that. Going to impact on the shields. Do some damage against some of his own ASFs. Some Cougars on the ground trying to get some extra damage on the Awasa. There's a couple of SAMs over this way. Bit of a hover bomb going in there. There we go. Awasa trying to hover bomb, doesn't quite manage it. In comes some more ASFs from well. They're determined to try and kill that Awasa off. They can just get a bit more damage onto it. Into the red it goes. The bomb goes down onto these guys. That's going to be a more dead T3 units, and the Awasa is very, very hurt indeed. Up on the left hand side, have a quick look-see. This force belonging to Tetra is deciding to retreat rather than face off against all of this. Probably does know that a significant number of it is T1, or they might loiter around. But how's the Awasa doing? Well, the Awasa doesn't matter because there's another one. It's a second Awasa, very fresh, very healthy, very ready to kill stuff. This one's still doing its thing, just gradually working around, killing off that. And there we go, those broadswords down the bottom right corner have just killed off so many of these guys. The engineers are picking up the mess though. Question is, can they do it? That is the end of whatever was there. Fatboy is running right away, as it should do. Some SAMs are protecting it. These strat bombs, they'll get their shots off. They'll do some damage to the shield, but the Fatboy will be fine. And the strats will be dead. On this side though, this Awasa is looking for targets. And come ASFs belonging to well, he is doing his best to try and keep up with the air game. He's got a Looks like his grid is slowly increasing, although maybe he's stopped and getting some assistance on that. Instead, his ASS right in the middle of Cascades is just going to get picked off nice and easy. And the Awassa is going to carry on. This Awassa also trying to make his presence known. Going around, there's a Crab that's been done, but Crab is not going to do much against the Awassa. There is a whole lot of stress, and now the Awassa is going to go for the main base belonging to Wednesday. Not having a good time on that. One Awassa down though, a huge number of Redeemers, but look at all the destruction here. That was his HQ. So no more T3 ground units for him. This Awassa is rocking its way down the left hand side of the map, being shielded by this group of ASFs, but he's actually got his other HQ over here, so I think Wednesday will be okay. The Awassa is coming on in. Looks like it's going straight for this air grid over here. Please some of these T3 shields at least to try and prevent that from happening. Lots of SAMs around, and that Awassa is going to take a huge amount of damage passing over that. There indeed, you look at that, down into the red, 10,000 health. They've got a few Continentals sitting over here looking for a drop perhaps. Awassa is 8,000, 9,000 health left, looking to go... No, what is looking to go? Maybe trying to drop a bomb, but it hasn't done. 300, 100 health. And that's the end of that particular Awassa. Did I hear another one somewhere? No, I did not. That is the end of the Awassas. Now, it is Cascade working on the chickens. And... Cascade what now? Cascade what now? Was lagging, so he left. Tell you what though, he's left his team pretty good stead. He's got a massive air grid that can get started back up. He's got chickens on the way. He's got plenty of build power, plenty of eco. And this over here is doing some pretty good work as well, cleaning up. Actually, those broadswords belong to... They belong to Nova Enon. I did not realize. Coming on in though is a Crab down this way, and it's going to start picking its way through all of these forces. What is the counter going to be? There we go, we have a satellite good to go. It's not in use though. Wednesday somewhat distracted, I would think. So that could be a mistake. Over here we have the Fat Boy. Fat Boy would be a great thing to go for the Megalith if they know it's there, which they should do. It's been scouted, yes it has. Going to send the broadswords over, but the broadswords are going to suffer from anti-air. There's a couple of bounces in there, a whole host of flak. And that's actually going to be very, very bad for the broadswords' health when they get a little bit closer. Satellite is coming over to have a peek. Maybe we can have a go at the anti-air for the broadswords. Broadswords need to focus things down first, kill the bouncers, kill the bangers, and you'll have free reign to murder the Mega. Right off these guys go, they're going to have a... That's the last of the flak about to go down. We're going to have just the bouncer. The satellite is carrying on straight past. And there's a solid response on the top left though. This is Tetra come down with a chicken. And the question is, what have they got to try and slow it down? Well, there's a GC on the way. There is a Mega over here. What they need to do is scout that coming in because... Well, they have no radar. It got destroyed. They have not rebuilt it, and this is coming down completely out of the blue. There is radar somewhere because these signatures are finally turning up, but now this is a problem. Do not know what's there. Crab is just getting crinkled by the broadswords. Does have some AA on it, like a really tiny amount, but it's going for the wrong one. This one's almost dead, this one is not, and this one is going for. But what else is there to stop it? There's some ground support here, got some Ravagers on the way, got some Percivals coming out to greet them. That's going to be terrible for their health. Fat Boy down the bottom right here is trying to take care of these guys at a distance. Back in this direction we see the chicken has arrived. It's opening up and starting to utilize all of this. Trying to throw down... they have no idea what's there, do they? They have absolutely no idea. Need to get that crab on over. The crab needs to go, and the crab is now going, but this is a lot of units that can do a lot of damage. The chicken decides to turn around, rejoin its forces as it will should well do. Plenty of sniper fire there, so that's a good chunk of support. Over this direction we have a group of units just overrunning this position as well, so this is actually Wednesday trying to hold off the top there. what have we got going on down this direction? The Fat Boy is trying to run from Titans. Well, they're only Titans. I say only. It can do some good damage against them. This riot gun is reasonably effective. The broadswords turn out. That should be absolutely fine for the Fat Boy. The Crab got approximately this close, but ran into this giant wall of Percival's. Promptly obliterated. Over this side we see this is T3 running away from T1. A curious decision, but that's their decision to make. The Athota has turned around, decided to not press this advantage down here. Could have maybe waltzed on through, but has not at this stage. Crab did a good counter there, making it decide to not push. GC is on the way as a secondary experiment over there for Wednesday. Back in this direction we had a couple of chickens up this way. Had a whole bunch of chickens. Oh, there they are. These two chickens. Those are the ones we were thinking of. How are they doing? Back in this direction we see the satellite has been doing satellite work. Wants to try and kill the pigeons. Destroy pigeons. And that will cause shields to drop. That will cause all sorts of problems. It's something people make a mistake with. The satellite, they try and kill the wrong things. Always go for eco with the satellite. Pretty much, if you knock out the pigeons, then there's pump out the shields, etc. Blah blah, etc. Right, down this direction we see there's some T2PD having to go as some bouncers. Bouncers are not very effective against T2PD. In fact, they die pretty quickly. These two chickens, though, they are going to be a problem they need to deal with. Back on the left-hand side, we see the return of the chicken over here. This is the Athota, and it is blapping away at this GC. How close was it to being finished? Don't know. Doesn't matter. It's not going to complete because that chicken just says no. Along comes Crab. It's going to start whomping its damage down upon these guys, as well as this massive ground army. But Chicken has a myriad of weapons and also has AoE capability. A lot of his guns. Now comes some stingers. They get blatted by some lightning tanks. I saw them in there. There we go. But now this is the push. There's another chicken coming down here though. So Tetra has split his forces. So even as Wednesday is reacting to this group and being drawn away, a second chicken is walking down the middle there, squeezing his way through with no resistance. Double chicken danger in this direction now as well. Going to need a few more broadswords. In fact, you want to get them off the ground and actually attacking. What happened to your Percivals? I think they moved up here. And this ain't looking good. GC is being created by Weld for having some funsies over there. Double chicken looking good. A monkey was on the way, but it's nowhere near complete. And now the Fat Boy turns up. It's going to start wrecking on the anti-air. That means the broadswords can come in and do their thing, and they can do their thing pretty darn well. They do good damage to ground-based units without anti-air in the way. Back in this direction though, here is the problem. This force of units and this Crab, well, it turned around and started hammering at the Athota. It's going to kill it, but the death knell of Lightning Storm destruction will kill everything around it, probably that Crab as well. Over this direction, it is not good. That's a lot of anti-air in this mix. These Redeemers have literally zero anti-ground capability, so they're just going to get wiped off the face of the planet by all of this. So there we go. As expected, the Lightning Storm there from this dead Athota has killed off the Crab. There were two chickens back down this direction. Where are they? Well, they are walking, and they are walking, and they are going to keep on walking. That boy's opened up. The broadswords are wrapped up. The Percivals have turned up for some extra damage. There's a lot of mass being donated past. They can back it up with more broadswords doing extra damage. The lightning field is going to really wreak havoc on this. Look at the amount of damage it's taken off. They're down to 25,000 health under the shield over here, so plenty of SAMs. And the broadswords are going to finish that off. Fat Boy is doing good work. It's actually hitting the next chicken. This is the third one that was coming up over there. And now this one is Dunzo. Back up in this direction, we see this chicken bush down here from Tetra just rolling over what was left of Wednesday space. There was a... oh, there. This GC has picked up these units. He's looking to murder things, but it's going to be careful about walking into range of the Percivals. Kind of just want to shoot them before actually going down. Is hoovering up the T3 units quite nicely, focused on the Percivals, tracked them in as well, keep them down. Now getting hit by the sniper boss over here, turns around to take care of them. Why not? This chicken, however, is looking very, very healthy and 4 ranks of veterancy, and is carrying on its walkies in this direction. Some restorers are in the area, but there's lightning tanks that will do some incredible damage to those, so not a good idea to send your air in that direction. Back up this way, what have we got? We have a huge amount and a couple of satellites overhead. If they focus their fire, they could burn off some of these mass fabs, make a T3 reactor explode. But this is a lot of build power, a lot of eco in there for Tetra and Vinyl, and of course Vinyl took over everything from Cascade, working on another Awasa. What is anyone got up its sleeve? Well, tell you what they don't have. Air. Here comes some strats from Tetra. Don't know what they're going for. They're going for the GC. There are some ASFs in the area, but they're not active. These strats are going to get all their bombs away. The GC is going to survive just barely. And the strats going to run afoul of this massive air ring and this massive air ring. I don't think they're going to get much more done. Another GC down here and is plugging away against this chicken. That's a very, very rated chicken. 5-star veterancy. Sorry, 5 rank veterancy. And it's actually going to be a much more even fight because of that. Face to face with the GC, its right arm now decides it's going to go shoot something over here instead. I'm going to try and knock out that. Look at this. 25,000 health there, 20,000 health there, and a nuke out. So that was being worked on there by Wednesday. That's where a whole lot of the eco is going. And what is the target? I've completely missed it. In fact, the target is the air grid here belonging to Vinyl Cascade's old air grid. And the question is empty? And I think the answer is going to be a big fat no. I don't see any nearby. There is some, oh, there's one anti over there. Is it going to be in range is the question. Here comes the nuke. No anti down here. So the big question is this going to be in range? And it doesn't look like it. That nuke sails on past and there's nothing else nearby. This entire air grid is about to go pop. Big old explosion, but the Awasa survives. Maybe we'll have to get something onto that. Maybe we want to get something onto that, but that's a good pick. That's the main air grid off on that section. There's no mutual KO down here between the GC and the Yathota there. Not too surprising, it was a 5 rank Yathota. Picking on a GC like that does good for its health. Another Yathota coming in though, being supported by some lightning tanks under shield, so all these ACFs need to consider not being there. Percivals are ready to push though, and they can do some excellent damage on that. The nuke is loading again. The Fat Boy is on the way. Wednesday is, I think, right there. Over in this direction, what do we have for Mr. Nova Enon? He is in the air game, something nice. He's got the ground game on the way. 6 factories pumping out some Percivals and ground forces there. They're going for a wander in that direction, but it's all about this chicken at the moment. Not much to slow it down. Like I said, there were some Percivals on the ground here from Wednesday. He's decided to walk away with them, giving free help veterancy to that Yathota as it just wanders in and knocks off those SAMs. Yeah, a couple more of those, and that's going to be on get a rank of veterancy, going to be incredibly helpful to its ordeal. Just about finish off a GC though, that might be why. Get the GC into the mix, and that will help take care of the chicken quite handily. Playing ACF over lightning tanks, not good for their health. Look at the amount, that's a whole lot just died. That's a huge amount of ASFs. Absolutely massive. Dear, oh dear, that has got to be painful. Right, this direction, how are we looking here? What is the go? Well, the satellites are looking for new targets by the appearance of things. They are just moving around trying to track something very deliberate in them where they're going. I wonder if they're coming down this way to try and help this push kill off the unit's course. They can't do much about that from base. The Awasa is leaving. It has decided on a target. Its flight pattern has been chosen. Got some strap bombers coming in behind as well. Those are cyber strap bombers, so they're going to be nice and stealthy, very hard to detect. And the Awasa actually lands and stops. There's a whoa nully. There is a giant swarm of strats. And got 30 and 34. Basically 70 strats if you include these ones down here. And the Awasa. This is going to be absolutely painful for somebody. Look at the spread on that. They are going all over the place. They've selected multiple targets. There's the red lines, and what are they going for? Two commanders down there. We've got one commander here, and they are going for it. 1-2 comes plus the Awasa, and here is, can the air scramble? Can it kill enough of these before they go in? The answer is maybe. This is Nova. Enon does have shields, but that is a lot of strap bombs. I don't think he's getting out of that. It's Nova going to go pop. Nova goes pop. More strats over here, and that is Wednesday survives. Survives on 3,000 health. Some more strats did work coming to try and tag him from there, but that is Nova Enon taken up by a massive strat run. 70 strat bombers and an Awasa to kill one commander. Was it worth it? You tell me. This is Wednesday running away to more shields, and as well he might, because 3,000 health. He had a shield comp as well. That was a very chunky commander over on the right hand, left hand side. 3 galactic Colossuses, whatever, 3 GCs, and they are walking up, and they're going to make a menace of themselves. We see there is a swarm of restorers ready to go as well. Over on the right hand side we see there is a Fat Boy, which used to be Nova Enons, now belongs to Wednesday, who can start doing things with that, just moving it around and killing things off. There some satellites. I have lost where those have gone. Let me hit the sats. There's one satellite there. Maybe the satellite tower's dying. There's a Awasa carcass right upon them. I cannot tell. I've lost the stats. That's alright. I know they were coming over this way momentarily to try and help out the forces down here. There are 3 Yathotas. So you got 3 GCs, 3 Yathotas, but you got restorers coming out as well. Restorers don't want to fly too close to the lightning tanks that could take a bundle of damage. There they go. They decide maybe not and turn around. Gonna come off one of them and get the heck out of dodge. ASF's rolling over lightning tanks as well. Never a good idea. Putting the damaged GC up front, also a bad idea. Get this one stopped. In fact, he has. This one is no longer walking, and now they can focus down on the Yathotas, get all the GCs in there, and start getting your firepower on there. 3 GC versus 3 Yathota with some army support. There's going to be some extra damage. The Yathota's got the first shots in onto this GC before the other 2 could get in, and there we go. 1 GC is down. Going to be 1 Yathota down here as well. Now it's going to be the lightning storm. This GC does a wee bit of a twist and dodge. Wants to try and stay alive. The lightning storm is going to do its thing and kill everything around it, mostly all that. There's a 3rd Yathota coming back in though, so these 2 guys are very much alive and healthy. This lightning storm is going to kill a few things off. This Yathota is going to go. It's fine. These GCs are very heavily damaged and going to fall on back. A big swarm of Percivals coming out, going to counter the ground forces over there. Over on the right hand side we see there was a bit of a push in this direction. We've got a Titan with a shield around it facing off against a brick, and while I give him credit for being ballsy, it's simply not going to work, and he's about to die a horrible death. Shield, no. I have a quick check over in this direction, and still a lot is being built here. We have a line of Fat Boys being planned. We have a lot of SAMs up. We have a myriad of things. We have a Tier 3 artillery just about done there for Tetra. He is working on something very nasty. In addition to all the authorities he's throwing at them, that's a scatter started there for Wookiee. Maybe a wee bit behind. Gonna take a while to finish that one off. Most of the eco right now belongs to Vinyl, who is got all these Fat Boys up, got his air grids up, got all sorts of stuff going on up there. Back down the side though, we see it is the march of the Percivals with a Fat Boy in support. And that is going to be up on there. There's a chicken here that is getting trickled away at by some broadswords, but they're not going to last too much longer because there is T3 on the ground. We see some bounces, we see some flak going up. These guys having a grand old time though. They're just walking up this way, moving whatever they come across. That boy is sitting still. No, it is moving on up. The chicken gets a range of these guys though, and that is going to be bad for their health. Chicken will absolutely obliterate them. Going to be not a heck of a lot left to them. They do take down the perimeter tower, which will be very handy indeed. The chicken's not terribly healthy, but the Percival is going to be less healthy by the time that thing gets through them. Fat Boy is doing Fat Boy things, just sitting there doing that. Over on the left hand side, quick check over here. What do we have? We have double Fat Boys, double GC, a swarm of Percivals, and 3 chickens. Well, the Fat Boys are going to be able to dish out the damage really well. This GC walks on up full of joy and not much else because it's now dead. If this chicken dies around here, it will be not great positioning. It will explode and the lightning storm will keep all this denied for a short time up this direction. It is the restorers. They're making their way up the top left here. We have another new car from Wednesday. Yes indeed. Where's it going this time? Oh yeah. Going for this little base here, and why not? It's a production area. There's a lot of eco here. It's actually worth nuking just to get that out of the hands of your opponents. There is an SMD over here, but I think that's out of range, and that will still most likely die. Fat Boy down here doing his thing, trying to knock things off. This army is going to get spattered by Fat Boy fire, so not good for his health. Big push coming up on the left hand side. Still 3 chickens looking nice and healthy though. Keep those restorers away. Don't chase with the hello T3 artillery. So while we mentioned the T3 artillery was built by, there it is, built by Tetra. Back down here we have a Salvation. So this is well when he's finished off with Salvation, and it is absolutely pounding away. We have T3 RD as well here from Wednesday. That's currently the focus by Tetra, but the Salvation, what is the Salvation going for? Well, it is, what's the Salvation? It's currently trying to destroy Eco. Maybe wants to think about changing its target to the T3 RD belonging here to Tetra. If they both focus this down, would be a very, very good idea. Long range destruction is being very unhelpful. In come the chickens though, Percival's are going to have a grand old go at there and have a look at that. One chicken gets a quick rank Confederacy, currently dies, 2 die. There's 1 chicken left. There's still a very, maybe not so healthy GC over here. The lightning storms though, the Fat Boys need to retreat before the lightning storm gets them, because the lightning storm will. This chicken is very much in the retreat situation. GC is trying to chase it down, but its chicken does have arms and will shoot from its arms. GC's, no, don't move forward, don't move forward, don't move forward, don't move forward. It's a very silly idea. Very silly idea. Maybe the shields can help keep these alive, but there's 2 lightning storms, and that's just what happens. Silly, silly. Should have checked what you're about to drive. 2 Fat Boys lost for no reason. Just a bit of an attention, and here we go. The T3 RT has now been selected and is being fired upon. Salvation is having to go at that thing, and those shields are going to crumble on that. We still have T3 RT as well. We do is firing at the wrong thing. Down this direction we have a surprise monkey. So this has been a while in the coming. Wookiee guy gets a monkey out, and actually there's sweet parkour on the ground to stop that. Has he got anything to stop the monkey? He's got some Percivals over here which might be able to help, but right now it is Salvation onto the T3 artillery. Should be joining in with the other T3 RT belonging to Wednesday to try and take that down as well. Going to need the help on that. The extra shields going there. These shields are holding on for now. Needs to be just a little bit of coordination, and that T3 RT would be dead already. What is Wednesday focusing on with his T3 RT? Something else entirely. I see the shells landing, and okay, they're going for the Fat Boy. Not the best call. Kill this off would be the right call. And there's a lot of Seraphim shields. 1 shield goes down though, and damage is landing. Maybe. Kind of layered shielding is going on there. Definitely need that T3 RT focusing on that. The Fat Boys are actually getting hit by the T3 artillery. They are big, they are fat, and the rounds do land, and they take a smashing amount of damage from T3 RT, but that is the wrong target. That needs to be the target of the T3 RT. A little bit of coordination must be done. Down this direction, Salvation is surviving. More and more shields going up there from Well. That's going to be very useful indeed. And shields pop up. The T3 RT should not be able to get through this direction. It is now Restorers getting work done. There's a few lightning tanks still loitering around the place, but they have to do something because that chicken is coming on and there's not much to do with the monkey down here. It got about this far before dying to Percival push. That's a lot of damage, a lot of pieces to do a lot of damage. Salvation, is it going to get through? Not just yet. Still trying to crack those shields, and still the T3 artillery is firing at the wrong thing. No idea what it's firing at now. 2 Awasses are in the skies though with a whole lot of strap bombers, and that is something. Wednesday hands over the T3 artillery, which is a good idea. Scathis is on the way there from Wookiee. He's Going to take a while to finish that off. Some Novaks going up in the back there by Mythic. And handing over the T3RD is ideal because now Weld can focus down everything. And just have a look at that all coming through. Finally, a wee bit of progress. Let some shields blink on just in time. They take a lot of damage though. Definitely need the T3RD to focus onto that to assist. The air game is afoot though. We have the ASFs are moving on up. We have the bombers along with their wasses ready to go. This direction we have a Fat Boy is just keeping his distance and plinking off these things. That T3RT, what's it going for? Another T3 artillery over here perhaps? Maybe, don't know. What is the Salvation doing? It has changed up targets. It's looking for something else. There's a T3 RD back here. Stop trying to kill this one and instead have switched up to kill this one perhaps. Or even the eco, because that's quite a bit of eco on this line. You got some T3 power generators plus some T3 mass fabs. And knocking that off won't be so good. Lots of strats are in the air. That boy down here is having a grand old time. It is just killing off this Yathota who's standing still, taking it like a man. Unfortunately, taking it like a man is not always a good idea, especially if you can't shoot back. He's having a grand old time. Over this direction now, the amassment of the bombers is happening again. 1-2 wasses this time with a whole handful of strat bombers. The artillery is absolutely hammering down upon this section now. The Salvation plus the T3RD, I believe, is going for it. There's a Duke sitting right there, so we have two T3RD coming over there from Team 2, and they are undoubtedly going for the Salvation, although actually they might be going for the Dukes over here. Shields are down. There's a couple of satellites over here. They really need to make use of these while they still got them, because they won't last too much longer. Need to focus some targets down and kill some things off. Killing off the artilleries would be the best bet. Get the RD focusing down on that stuff. More Fat Boys along the way. We have a bunch over there. We've got a push coming up on the right hand side as well. That Fat Boy has finally, the Yaho's still alive, but the ground forces having a good time. The broadswords turn up. They are getting hammered by some black. That won't last too much longer. They are broad souls after all. And they are now free to roam on through and be joined by Percivals shortly. Fat Boy is still having a go at the Yathota, so good push coming with the right hand side, not a lot to stop them. We see the Sats are going for the SMD. That'd be something to go for. Get all your arty, focus down the SMDs. Once they're all dead, then you can start nuking stuff willy-nilly. Scathus is going up pretty quickly though. That is about half done. Nuke out, and that's going for this section over here where there's all this armies just sitting there. Can you imagine if they managed to nuke the wasses? That would be absolutely hilarious. Down this direction, how are we looking? Shields are still holding for now. We still have the Salvation plus 2 RDs. They have got to get themselves a target to stop though. They need to kill off something, anything. I don't think their focus is quite in the right spot. They have yet to kill off... Yeah, kill the RDs. You can only fit so many shields around a thing. There's no space left. Both commanders in the water, both shielded, but they're very much not in the water. They're not in the water. Nuke lands over this direction and kills a lot of stuff. But... not a lot of stuff, if you catch my meaning. Loads of bombers in the skies ready to do a push over on the right hand side. This is good work coming up here from Wednesday. Bad Boy plus the ground forces, they are doing excellently, getting great leaps and bounds, and they're not too far off being able to push through there. But on the left hand side we see the same thing going down. We have a GC facing off against a Yathota. In come some restorers. They're going to have problems with the lightning tanks. Maybe the GC could focus the lightning tanks down or hoover them up. Restore is going to be a big help though for keeping things under control. But here comes the bomber swarm. Are the ASFs in the right spot? No, no! They are patrolling away. The ASFs are patrolling away from the Awasses and the Strats. They come straight through and the ASFs are just nowhere. This is not looking very good at all. One Awassa down, but there's plenty of Strats chasing it up. There is Wednesday right in the open. Lots of Strats coming on him. I don't think he's getting out of that. That is far too many Strats. No, that is going to be Wednesday. He goes kaboom, as does Weld over on this side. So a final dual. Oh dear, oh dear. That. Oh no, they had that. Oh no, they had that. There was a huge giant swarm of ASFs from Wednesday. I saw them, I thought they had them. They came in and looked like they were going to catch up to the bombers, but then they were still on patrol and the patrol was like here. And it was just short of the bomber line of where they were going to. Oh dear, oh dear, the ASS were just slightly out of place. If they hadn't turned away, they could have actually survived that. He had so many ASFs. There's no way those bombers would have got through if he'd focused, if they had caught the line. But that one turn, or for one moment, did they not turn back on their patrol but carried on and caught all of those, they absolutely would have got through. And if you have a look at this, the armies were moving up on the right, the Fat Boy, the Percivals, all of those were smashing their way through up here. And that Scathus wasn't really a problem at this stage of the game. Maybe should have coordinated the satellites with the arty as well. Looking, could have killed off this, could have killed off that, and that would have been absolutely a winner. But no, it is the massive bombing run responsible for killing off Nova Enon earlier down here. Wednesday got out with barely enough health to survive, but it was the double Awasa with strat support straight on through, and a mistimed turn by all the ASS belonging to Wednesday, and that actually hands the win over to Team 2. I think they were absolutely struggling at this point. I think Team 2 was actually struggling by that stage. They didn't have an answer for this. There's absolutely nothing on the ground to slow them down. They could have used the air to explode all of this. Yes, they could have. But these satellites and RT, if they all focus on the same thing, they could have murdered it all quite easily. But there we have it, folks. Some odd random disconnections, but still, because of the full share, it stayed as a fun and interesting game. Very nearly a comeback from team number 1 there. Very, very close indeed until the mass bomber dual sniper at the end. If only for these ASFs to not have turned away right here, they could have wiped them all and it would have been a giant mass donation. Not that they seem to need it, they look to be fine. But there we are, folks. So yeah, it is nice to be back. More casts will be coming now that I have set myself into what I want to do, and this will be the way things are. Thanks for being here, and we shall see you on the next stream. More to come.